sawgrass can be rough on you if you walk through. It can definitely cut you. Notice that I'm running my fingers up the blade instead of down it because it can cut. These little itty-bitty teeth are actually not necessarily here to protect the plant, but actually to act like a cactus and collect water during the morning dew and feeding the plant during the dry season. So it's an adaptation to this harsh environment, or this wet and dry season.
When we come back, we get a bird's eye view of Big Cypress National Preserve and head out on the open waters at the western entrance of Everglades National Park.
Better days are in the cards, I feel it in the changing wind. I feel it when I fly.
The Everglades, when I'm flying over it, it reminds me of Africa. And I have a love of Africa, and it's like Africa in America in terms of the vastness and the natural beauty. And that's what it looks like to me when I first go over it. And I always think about it. It reminds me of such vast, infectious, and inspiring beauty, the way you can sit out and look from horizon to horizon on the plains of Africa. I feel the same way in the Everglades.
In the air or on the ground, the vastness is hard to describe or take in all at once. From Lake Okeechobee to Florida Bay is more than 150 miles, and at some points the River of Grass stretches 70 miles wide across Florida's southern peninsula.
We have to help people understand just how big the Everglades is. You know, we're not talking about a small area. We're talking about a significant portion of the entire state of Florida, and this would be like coming to the United States and only visiting one block of one particular city.
Everglades National Park alone is the largest protected subtropical wilderness in the continental United States. 1.5 million acres of sawgrass prairies, mangrove forest, and shimmering waters invite tourists on endless adventures.
You go out in Florida Bay, and if you paddle, I guess it's west, toward Cape Sable, they've got, one year I saw hundreds of roseate spoonbills. It was just pink everywhere. There's bald eagles out here if you look for them, a lot of osprey. It's just great.
Oh, now the sun goes sliding across the water. Sailboats, they go searching for the breeze.
Twisting and turning through mangrove tunnels where the sun has trouble peeking in, kayakers can paddle for days through these waters. It's hard to say with a straight face, but in fact, this place is for the birds. They come in every color of the rainbow and in all sizes and shapes, birds of prey and long-legged wading birds.
When you're seeing spoonbills foraging along in the shallow water areas, they forage by what's called tactile feeding, which means they touch and feed by feeling what's on the under the water. And so shallow water is really the best place for them to forage because the prey get concentrated. And that's one of the things that's really interesting about the Everglades and very important in how we manage the water is that we must have these dry down periods in order to concentrate the food that the wading birds are eating.
Observe the great blue heron, so graceful in his flight, standing proud along the banks, not knowing of the fight.
But we are not the first generation to admire these birds or enjoy their coats of many colors.
The egrets and the herons, during their breeding period, they get these special plumes. They're very beautiful, actually, and they use these to attract their mate. During the 1800s, it was very popular to use these plumes in hats, and they became so popular that 1 ounce of plumes was actually more expensive than an ounce of gold. It would actually cost about $32 for an ounce of plumes. And to get 1 ounce of these plumes, they would actually have to kill 4 birds.
Even the unseemly vulture is a welcome sight to some in this area.
Vultures are our cleanup crew. They're the essence of what makes the Everglades a great place to visit, because if you didn't have the vultures that are working along with this system, making it a clean, beautiful smelling place, I wouldn't want to work here. It would smell horrible.
Safe, except from the prying lenses of photographers, the birds and alligators can put on quite a wildlife show.
You take about 5 steps and see another animal, a bird, an alligator, a turtle, you name it. It's fantastic.
The rain that began near Orlando has now traveled almost 200 miles south to Florida Bay. It has taken a year for the water to slowly, almost imperceptibly seep south at the rate of a quarter mile a day. Our trip, on the other hand, can last a day, week, or month. But if you stop...
This is part of the history of this country. And to be able, for children to come here is the tribal linkages to all our Native Americans that are here, and to be able to tell the story of not only the future of our country, but our past through coming to parks. That is something that's so important, and I think since September 11th, it has really become a greater importance than ever. People want to know more about America, and this is a story being told right here in the Everglades. And the Everglades Trail will allow us to help tour that.
Listen.
It seems to be like nature at its purest, which is why we like to come here.
And look.
Hard to describe, and yet you could almost paint a picture. One day out here you could go home and paint a picture.
The memories you create will last a lifetime.
So far, but yet so near, where I see the days as they fade away. Finally, this